Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series brought to you by Patranya Media LLC and Parkway Media Partners. I'm your host, Patranya Poonswan, and welcome to this very special episode featuring a great business that has just come to town here in Southern Nevada, MySafe Global Vaults. And we have two amazing people joining me in the studio today. We have Terry Downs. He is the group CEO. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Patranya.
And we have Crystal Welch. She's the regional general manager. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And MySafe Global Vaults. This business has been around overseas, but now what's really exciting is, Terry, you're bringing this to the U.S. for the first time. And what's even more exciting is you're bringing it to Nevada as the place to launch this. So tell me all about this. MySafe Global Vaults, how long has this business been around?
So what a brilliant introduction. Thank you so much. So we launched in 2017 in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. And it's the first time in the world you had this automated safety deposit box concept. And frankly, we've now grown that business. We've got 7 different sites in the UAE right now. We've got some sites in East Africa, in Kenya. We've got some sites in India, just close to Delhi. And our dream was always to take it to the largest, the most exciting market in the world.
Yeah.
And hence our journey to the United States began some 6 months ago. We incorporated in Nevada, and we have just launched our first 3 sites here in the state of Nevada. And very excited by that journey so far.
It's amazing. And, I'll let Crystal talk about, just the market here in the U.S. in just a bit. But Terry, if people have never heard of MySafe Global Vaults, I know you mentioned what it's when to talk about these deposit boxes. They've heard maybe at a bank, things like that. But you said the business is changing now and people are looking for a different type of service, which is what you're offering, correct?
Yeah, you're so correct. I was very fortunate. I was involved in the role of the convenience ATM networks in Europe. So I was with those guys who went to the bank and told the bank that we want to take the ATM out of the bank and into the supermarket. And I was very privileged to see how that unfolded and the change that had on society in terms of how we manage personal cash.
Yeah.
So for me, when we looked at the safety deposit box industry, I wanted to take it out of the dungeon, out of the underground, and I wanted to position it in the high street where it became convenient and relevant and meaningful. So when your viewers think about safety deposit box, they think about the movies and Jason Bourne is in that corner and James Bond is in, and and to be fair, a lot of the traditional safety deposit box centers still have that similar 2,000 boxes in the big room. But in our case, it's completely automated. So we use advanced safe robotics. It's a state-of-the-art security system. So you basically swipe into a very small private room. You sit at the desk, you punch in your credentials, and 10 seconds later, the robotics deliver the box. It pops up in front of you like magic.
And it sounds amazing. And I know we have a video that you have been showing. So give people a better idea, which we'll show that during this interview as we're talking here. But it's really amazing because you're right. People think of this Hollywood type of, deposit from like ultra billionaires, using these boxes, but you're bringing this down to just everyday people can take advantage of this, right?
It's one of the most exciting things for me personally. When I set the project up, I didn't fully understand the profile, but over the years, the most exciting thing for me is to realize that, of course, we have the billionaire, we have the VVIP, we have the gold, the jewelry, we have all of that. But you come to realize that everybody has something of value.
Right.
So we also have, and I tell this story, I hope you know mine.
Yeah.
We have an elderly lady who comes to visit us 2 or 3 times a week in Dubai for years.
Wow.
When she went in, we heard this whirring sound. This day she came out, she was very upset. We sat her down, gave her a coffee, and she told us the story. And when she visited the site, she would take out her camera, and that's the whirring sound. She would take some photographs of the contents of the box.
Right.
And in the box, she had his false teeth, she had his passport, she had his handkerchief. She was a widow. And for her, this was her whole life in that box.
Yeah.
And it moved me because it resonated with me in my experience with my mom and dad. When my mom passed away, Lord have mercy on her, my dad went to the drawer, took out the drawer, and he folded her handkerchief. So And I tell that story because it really encapsulates that issue, that the diversity of the client base and people's perception of what is of value
Right.
really opened my eyes and made me realize there's perhaps a little more to this than a business and making money.
Yeah.
We're actually providing a service to the community that perhaps was not there before.
Right.
And I tell that story truthfully.
Yeah.
It really impacted me. And we
Yeah.
have many such examples of that kind of story.
And, and I think that's what brings it down to us is people, we all have these sentimental things in our lives. We want to make sure we save it. I mean, we just, you just saw the fires in Southern California where people lose things like that, right? But this becomes about safety and making sure that peace of mind. And Crystal, why don't you jump in and talk to us about kind of how are you getting this out to people and letting people know that this kind of service exists and this is something they can actually use?
Yes, so the main way we've been getting our word out is basically being on the television.
Getting the word out locally,
yes,
right?
locally with our local people. We also have been putting out different advertisements at different grocery stores. We've been working with different partners in the television setting. We've been working with Chamber of Commerce people.
Right.
We've been trying to put our word out there and putting our name out there because we are typically new to the U.S.
So how can people find you here in Vegas? So you're having an official launch coming up this
Yes.
month. So talk to us about that and what are you offering people and how to get them to understand, hey, this is something that you want to support here in Nevada.
So we are doing an event on the 13th. It is going to be at our Durango location. It's 4035.
And that's the first one to open here
Yes,
in
yes.
Southern Nevada,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
So we're going to be doing our event there. We're going to be having a lot of different things going on. So we do have different discounts. So if you're like a college student, we can get you a college student discount.
Oh, wow.
We do have veteran discounts. We have different discounts for different people.
Yeah.
So depending on who you are and what you need, that's what we can get for you.
So I think that's what we want to get out to people, that it can be very affordable to do this. There are
Yes.
different levels and different plans that are out there, right? So talk to us about that.
Yes, so we do have various plans. We have 20% off, different things. It won't be the same for everyone, but we do have different things for different folks.
Yeah.
As for right now, our event that we're going to throw, we are giving away certain amount of boxes
Wow.
for free.
Get the word out, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Build the hype and build the buzz that this is out there. That's great. And you're in Durango, but that's the only one of how many locations here in Southern Nevada?
So we have two other locations. One is on Rainbow and Warm Springs.
Okay.
And then we also have a location in Henderson off of Verde.
How are you looking at these different markets? Do you just kind of want to send it to as many neighborhoods that might want to have access to this type of business?
Precisely,
Yeah.
different neighborhoods because, everybody doesn't want to go travel across town to get their personal items or check on their items or anything. So we're trying to make it in a different area. And then we also are trying to place it in areas where we know that there's good quality of people there. So single home living.
Yeah. People who could use this kind of service.
Yes.
But it's interesting to me, you mentioned students and veterans, different groups like that. So, really anybody can make use of this, right?
Yes.
Like, what are some of the things that people are coming to you, maybe you're hearing from, that say, hey, we really want to keep these things in here? What are you hearing
It
from
could
customers?
literally be their home deeds, type of paperwork, stuff that they don't want to get water damage,
Yeah.
or it could be something that's very valuable to them, an heirloom, something that was passed down generation to generation. It just depends on the actual person.
But if I could just make a comment
Yeah.
on that issue about what's of value to
Yeah.
people. We're mindful of the tragedies that unfolded recently
Right.
in Los Angeles and
Yeah.
that are still ongoing for many
Yeah.
people. And I don't wish to chase that, but humanity has this incredible ability to rebuild.
Right.
So difficult and all though it may be, we'll rebuild that city. People will find a way to build their homes, and society moves on. One of the tragedies of the modern era, though, is that what you cannot replace is your past, your history.
Right.
And in the modern world, what you'll find very quickly is that it's the simple things that have real value. So try and open a bank account without your SSN details.
Yeah.
Try and fly to Europe without a passport.
Right.
Try to convince the IRS that you've got all your receipts, but they
Right.
were burned.
Right.
Or that your school records.
That you take for granted and
yeah,
don't
or your
think
health
about,
records.
right, on a day
so
to
it's
day.
the history, it's the
Yeah.
historical stuff that becomes very difficult. Log on to any modern day portal, and the first thing you must load before you can get to the next. These are the things that in the modern era have become really valuable.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is say, look, every single person, from the student all the way through to the elderly person, has stuff of value. It just makes sense to put them somewhere safe, provided you can access 24/7, that it's convenient. You don't have to go through searches and scans, nothing, no appointments of any kind. Just walk in. You don't even have to speak to our staff when you come to the site. You've got your swipe card, swipe into your little room, do your business while your partner's gone shopping, and 60 seconds later, you're out. No one was even know you're there.
Yeah.
So it's the convenience and
And I think that's the key part. People want it to be convenient,
Yeah.
but obviously, safety, a big part of it, right? Crystal, do you want to kind of chime in? And it's like, how do you assure people that, hey, if you keep your stuff with us here, safety is at the utmost?
So we're very, very secure. We have top of the line, the best quality type of mechanism technology for our actual safe. So, and then we still have our 24/7 staffing. We have our camera system is 24/7, always being watched. It's not just being watched here, it's being watched overseas. So we do have a lot of different things going in together.
and you don't have to take our word, Patranya. If you go to any bank in the United States, there's about 25 million safety deposit boxes right now in the United States. Not a single bank in the US can insure the contents of those boxes. If you go to the private sector, most private safety deposit box, they may insure up to $20,000
Interesting.
as the standard, right? In our case, you can insure the contents of the box up to $1 million.
Oh, wow.
And that's with Lloyd's of London, the largest insurance market in the world.
Yeah.
Not selling insurance right now, but that credibility
Yeah.
that you need, especially from a new entry to the market. Don't take our word. Ask the largest insurance market in the world and their perception of this 21st century solution.
Yeah.
And that's how we promote it. It's a marketing cliche, I accept that, but it really is a game changer
Yeah.
in comparison to the traditional, you have a key, I have a key,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we go into a big room,
Yeah, it's really interesting just watching your video and just seeing your stuff on your website where people can go to. And what is the website again? For
It's mysafe-usa.com.
and that's where they can find services
Correct, yeah,
here
they'll
in
find
the
all the
U.S.
details.
And Crystal, and what's really exciting is I know you're opening the branches here in Nevada, but you're not stopping here, right?
No, we're not stopping
Yeah.
here. We do have some other locations that we're going to be opening up very soon in Uptown Dallas. And then we're going to be moving across. We will be opening up over, I would say, 80 locations.
Wow. So there is a market here.
Yes, for
people
sure.
are looking for places to kind of build that assurance, right? That they can keep their stuff safe. So talk through, maybe Crystal, just talk through the process. And we're going to show some of the video here.
Okay.
If people want to become a client and they want to store their stuff, what's the first thing that happens? Do they just come to any of the locations and they can get information?
Just pop right into
Yeah.
any location. We're just going to jot down a few information on a sheet. Just give us you don't have to give us direct information. So it's not going to be anything personal. It's just going to be your name, your address, your date of birth, things of that sort. Then we'll input it into the system.
To ensure your identity.
Yes,
right?
so
Yeah.
we know who you are if someone else comes in or anything of that sort.
Right.
But afterwards, we will set you up in our computer system. We give you a key card. We'll select your biometrics, which is you just putting your finger on a machine so that we know who you are exactly.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get you a unique key. So they're one-of-a-kind keys for your box. We don't keep a key. You'll
Yeah.
have every key. And that's that. You'll select your PIN. Easy. 10 minutes maybe at the most, and you're good.
So convenience, easy, and you can kind of have that safe of mind that is safe. I mean, I think that's the key thing. And I'm surprised that this has not been here before. I mean, why do you think that this is just coming now that you said this is the perfect time to bring this to market?
The genesis is that the banks basically never really wanted to be in this business. And after the financial crash 2008,
Right.
the banks re-engineered their business, so now it's digital platforms and no longer bricks and mortars.
Yeah.
So maybe 10,000 branches shut in the United States over the last 2 years, and that's similar across the world.
Yeah.
And so the banks exiting give rise to the private sector increasing.
Okay. And I did not know that. Now, banks are that's not kind of their core anymore.
Yeah,
so that
correct,
opens
yeah.
a space for
They
you. to
never
open.
wanted to provide the service. I mean,
Right.
banks, if you think about your local branch and the kind of skills that are required in that, they don't do storage, they don't do lockup. They had to do it for that top 3 or 4% of their
Yeah.
client base.
Yeah.
And as soon as they found a way to exit that, they were very happy to get out.
Yeah.
And one comment I wanted to make, because
Yeah.
it's very important.
Of course.
We haven't mentioned the fact in our sites, each site has a maximum of 300 boxes.
Wow.
So very deliberately, very consciously, we try to make sure it's intimate and personal. So if you ask me about our USP, of course the technology is incredible. I mean, it is state of the art.
Right.
But internally, we talk about the USP being the smile. We want to know every client. We want to know how we can help you. Some clients want to come in for a chat. Some clients don't want to talk to you at all. And so for us, that's a fundamental component of what we're trying to develop here. And that's why every site targets a different catchment area and adjusts to reflect the ambience or the requirements of that particular catchment area. It's
Yeah.
a very important issue for us.
And I love that. And all the information that we can find on your website here talking, people can get a lot of information, what kind of documents what kind of things they should be storing, right? And things like that. And it's nice to have that information online, but you said there are people there 24/7 in
Yes.
order to give information. And if they need stuff 24/7, I think that really helps as well.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So, if they want to start, and is there kind of a requirement, a certain age limit? What's kind of your goal? People can just come and get
Once
information.
you're 18 years of age,
Yeah.
then that's all we require. We went out of our way to eliminate a lot of the bureaucracy that underpins
And that's why you
these
chose Nevada, one of the reasons,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. And Nevada was such a dream, frankly, from
Yeah,
that perspective.
yeah.
So it takes 10 minutes to register.
Yeah.
And then the asset test for us is if you register for a box, as you're going out the door, you should be calling your mom or your dad or your daughter.
Yeah.
And tell them, pop up there to see those guys. So we wanted to keep it that simple,
Right.
but at the same time, the most advanced in the world,
Yeah.
as defined by Lloyd's. So
That's
it's
great. And it's great to see you're growing. We're seeing, the locations that you have now listed. And Crystal, what do you want to tell people out there who's like, thinking about doing this?
If you guys are having just any type of idea that, hey, I might want to stop down and check it out, just come on in and check us out. We'll even give you a demo. And we also have our event that we're throwing, so you can win a box.
Yeah, right. So might as well. And Terry, you'll have the last word. I mean, what do you want people to know about this? How excited are you to be now expanding this here in Maryland?
There's a saying, "This is my last rodeo," and for me, it was okay that it was a project, and it was going to be in the largest, the most exciting market in the world. But it's become more than that. It's become a calling for me, and I come to work every day these days, and it's so much pleasure.
Yeah.
Because it's exciting, and I'm working with a team that are also going to become, the backbone of the group as we move forward. There are no industry experts out there. We grow them from within.
Right.
So the guys and girls that I'm currently working with, they're the future CEOs. They're the future people who are going to drive this business, and that's a very rewarding experience for somebody. From where I come from, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I just get to have fun every day.
Yeah.
And as Crystal said, we're going to roll this out right across the United States
Yes.
and beyond in due course, for sure. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to
Thank you
both
so much.
of you. And this is really exciting. And especially with, living and working here in Nevada, we're always excited to have a new business come to town. And this one is really something that I think a lot of people can take advantage of.
Thank you so much.
So
Kind
thank
words,
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
Terry
you.
and
Thank
And
Crystal.
do come and do pass by on the 13th.
Yes,
Durango.
February 13th.
Irish welcome, I guarantee you.
Okay.
Yes.
No sales. We're just going to have some fun.
It's just going to be a party.
But it's a party.
Yes.
for
All
sure.
right. Well, thank you so much
In the
again
lead
to
up to
both of you.
Valentine.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And we'll see you again next time.